Howdy, cinema class, Shasta College Humanities 4. It is Friday, February 19th, 2021. I'm going to sign the essay number 3 today. It is going to be Citizen Kane by Orson Welles. You're going to have to find it somewhere. You can rent it on YouTube for $3. That's the best I could do. Normally, I would show it in class for free, but we're not in a class, so I can't use my copies of any of these films for you guys to see. So sorry you have to pay for this stuff, but you're saving on gas from not driving to college and all that good stuff. Anyway, that's the essay. I'm going to put it on announcements and then on assignments today. It'll be due a week from today, so you have plenty of time to do it. And then we'll be done with the 1940s, the decade. Each of our classes, I'm trying to cover the whole decade. And now we're already, after this week, we will be done with the 1940s, coming out of World War II. And next week we start post-war. And we're going to get into, for the first time, to some foreign films. Italian neorealism is going to be the next subject next week. Anyway, I know because I've gotten a bunch of messages from people. You still haven't gotten the book. You need this book. Can you pass a class without it? Sure, I assume you can. Will it help you write your essays? Yes. Because I'm going to get tired of repeating the same stuff over and over and over again. And it's all in this book. And if you read it, I don't have to repeat it. But I do want to go over some stuff today because this will be our third essay, so we're going through them pretty quick. We are going to have a midterm quiz, and there's going to be other things happening. The midterm's not going to come for a little bit, so don't worry about that yet. But it's going to encompass all the stuff we've covered up until a certain point, probably the 1950s, from beginning of film to the 1950s, something like that. So be prepared for that, and it will help if you have the textbook. I know a lot of you don't have it yet. Maybe you're never going to get it, but hopefully you're watching these lectures, and you could get enough, and you could do enough, and listen enough, and research enough to understand what I'm trying to get at through this class, the story of film. And that documentary I want you guys to continue to watch on Canopy, the story of film. I'll be assigning more of those episodes too. But real key, because I've had several people just contacting me. They weren't happy with their points they got on their quizzes because and then they reveal to me that they haven't gotten this book yet. So I'm going to look at chapter 3 today. It's called Formal Analysis. What is formal analysis? Careful analysis of a film's form is essential skill for any student of cinema. Nearly all of the essays about movies will employ formal analysis. Even ones that are written primarily from another perspective, forget that. And what is formal analysis? Well, it dissects the complex synthesis of cinematography, that's the camera, lighting, sound. That's just not talkies, but it's actually the sound. It's what music, it's sound effects, what they call Foley, which is putting in sound effects. Design. How does the film look? Is the design, do the rooms look right? Do the cars look right? Do the clothes look right? Look at the design. Films are designed. They're not just photographed willy-nilly out on the street with all that stuff by accident. It's all planned. Movement. Now, a lot of you have mentioned, especially in the silent films, when they didn't have, they couldn't speak, the actors moving. That's important, but also look at the cameras. The camera moving. Are people moving in the frame? The French have a word for it. It's called mise en scene. Essentially means what's photographed in front of the lens. People coming in and out of rooms, people drinking, people eating, people shooting somebody. What's going on with the movement of the actors in the scene? How are they staging it? It's another term for staging the actors in the scene. That's not by accident. The actors just aren't making their own staging. The director does that, and a good director knows how to stage a scene effectively to get the right amount of emphasis on what he's trying or she's trying to convey in that scene. Love, sadness, happiness, pathos, danger, all that good stuff that goes into a good movie. Look at what the screenwriter's done. That's the script. I constantly say in my criticism on your critiques, what about the script? Who wrote it? Is it effective? Is the dialogue effective? Is the storytelling effective or not? And explain why it is or why it isn't. Look at the actors is another one, performers. Are they doing a good job? Are you getting what their characters are about? Is it stiff? Is it fluid? Does it look lifelike? Is it working? Are they working as characters to convey their characters and their character arc in their story, in the story of the film? What's that look like? And don't just write, I think they're great or I think they're awesome. I don't like them. That's not telling me anything. What makes it great or awesome, or you don't think they're conveying what they need to convey? Why? Explain it. Don't just use adjectives to because that doesn't explain anything. The director, is the camera, the staging, the acting, is everything conveying the story in a way that's beneficial to the film? Are they doing a good job? Are they not doing a good job? Now, I talk also a lot about theme and what exactly is a theme. For example, here on page 37, they talk about Alfred Hitchcock movie, Vertigo. We haven't got to the 50s yet, so I hope you watch it one day. It's 1958. So there's so many themes in that movie. It's just not, themes could be a lot of things. They could be, it could be fear, jealousy, rage, envy, class struggle, love, unrequited love. A theme there's usually more than one theme in a movie. If a movie is just a central theme, then it's kind of boring. And so something like Vertigo, which has many themes, the theme of Vertigo can be seen in the opening credits. So already there's a theme in the opening credits. If I was in class right now, I'd show you the opening credits to Vertigo. You might have to go online and look at it on YouTube, which is there. The close-up is of a woman's face, and the music makes one thinking that she has a psychological problem. So the music, along with the expression on her face, and this is all coming from the director giving the direction to the actor, is conveying a theme. Already in the opening credits, we're seeing something. So the music is making it dramatic. We know if it's a comedy or not, or if it's going to be a drama or psychological comedy or horror film. And when you hear horror music, you know what it is usually. Then the circles that begin to seem, they appear and they seem to kind of give you the effect. It's like a spiral effect. They seem to give you the effect of vertigo. Do you guys know what vertigo is? Fear of heights. I mean, not just you don't like getting up on a ladder, it's fear of heights. It's vertigo. People actually suffer from vertigo. It's a medical condition where they literally collapse to the ground. They seem to be spinning out of control. It could be sometimes an inner ear problem. Really, I'm not kidding. If you ever got up out of a chair too fast, you guys are too young for this, and maybe felt a little bit tweaky, dizzy, that's vertigo. And you should stand there for a second before you take your first step. A lot of old people suffer from this because they're not so balanced as they used to be. And so already we see this visual effect of this spiraling. It's an animated effect that he has in the front of this film, and it makes you feel like you're falling. And with the music and the expression on the actor's face, we're already getting a psychological theme here of an adverse fear of heights. And it's going to play key in this whole film. The film is called Vertigo, but essentially it's also about a guy who's obsessed with a woman who dies, and he tries to recreate that woman with another woman. So what does that have to do with vertigo? You'll see if you watch the movie. But so everything is in vertigo in the movie, or we'd have a boring movie. So the opening makes it clear that the movie Vertigo will be more than just about the fear of heights. So within that small opening shot, I wish I could show it to you guys. You should go on YouTube and watch it to see what I'm talking about. It's probably it's on YouTube, probably in the trailer for Vertigo. It shows you multiple themes, not just the fear of heights, but also it's going to show us the obsession this guy has for this woman, this reaching out towards this, what he thinks is his perfect match, his perfect female match. And he's a private investigator in this. He's supposed to be the logical one, but really he's not too mentally stable. And so he's obsessed. Throughout the movie, he stalks her. And he's in love with an image that isn't reality. It's what he's made up in his mind. What does that have to do with vertigo? Well, it climaxes with a big chase up a steeple, and someone's going to get thrown off that thing. So it always wraps around again to the old-fashioned fear of heights, but the movie's about more than that. So that's some of the stuff you can pick up in this little book here. And so now you're going to do a formal analysis. You're going to examine the elements. Keep in mind the following questions. For your convenience, we've crafted this list according to the primary categories of film form. Narrative. Narrative, essentially storytelling. Mise en scene, that's what's in front of the staging, in front of the camera lens. Cinematography, editing, acting, and sound. If you're uncertain about the meaning of any of these terms, in this little book, there is a glossary at the end of all what these terms mean. It helps when you're analyzing these films. This is not a filmmaking class. If it was, you'd really have to learn this stuff. I took filmmaking. I learned this stuff years and years ago, and it helps me understand movies. But this little glossary is really good at the very end. It gives you stuff you've heard about before in your life, and without even knowing that you know anything about film, you've heard of these things. I mean, this will tells you what a shooting script is, what a shooting angle is, the different angle of the camera lens. This will explain what a sequence is. Simply, remember I had you guys look at the montage documentary, the Eisenstein. Those are sequences edited together to form the story arc. A lot of the stuff you wouldn't need to know because it's too much to know, but it's really handy, like what a POV is. Do you know what that means? Point of view. What does that mean? Well, it's whenever you have a character, say the camera's on my face, I'm looking out over the ocean at a boat off in the distance. Then they do a reverse angle, the camera, the director, and the camera will show you what I'm looking at. That's a point of view, my point of view. The character who's looking at the boat out in the ocean, that's their point of view. That's simple, but it's important to know what the character are looking at. What is a process shot? You don't need to know all this, but a process shot, they don't have them too much anymore now because everything's filmed on a green screen and they put computer generated images on the green screen. That's essentially a process shot, which most movies use now too much, in my opinion, but and TV. But in the old days, they used to have to film and they'd have a screen behind the actor and they would show the film behind the actor, what's going on. Say you're driving a car. You're not really driving, folks. You're on a sound stage in a fake car, but you have to see something out the back window or the side windows. And so they've filmed the things out on the street, moving cars and stuff. It looks like this car's moving because they're projecting the images on the screen outside the window, so it looks like they're in traffic, but they're really not. It's all fake. And when you see old movies, you see a lot of that. And we accepted it. But now when you look at it, for the most part, it looks really fake. But some people, I like that effect because films are an illusion of reality. They are fake. And so sometimes you'll still see those shots to remind you that you're watching a movie. You're not watching a documentary. You're watching, a film that is essentially contrived and written by writers. Yeah, this is a good little, this book is really excellent, and I hope you buy it, and buy it soon, because I'm going to get tougher on the essays. Believe it or not, I haven't been that tough, but starting today, this is essay 3. If you haven't got the book, then I'm sorry, it's too bad for you. Instead of giving 8s or 7s, I'll be getting out 3s and 4s if I don't like these essays. And that takes your grade down pretty quick. So please, if you don't get that book, at least pay attention to what I'm saying and how to break down the scenes. I will put this stuff up once again on the assignment, how to break down something, things for you to look at. Some people are having trouble with that. What do I look for? I'm not sure how to start the ball rolling on this. Well, start the ball rolling with the opening credits. What do you see? Not just describing what you see, but what is the feeling of the story you're getting from the opening shot? You can write a whole page about that. You don't have to hit all the angles. You don't have to write about all the stuff. You can write about 2 or 3 things. I was a little critical on some of the essays. If you just mention one thing, like on the silent film, A lot of people just wrote about the music. You're so relieved that there was some music on there, it just wasn't silent, that you wrote a 3-page essay about the music on the silent film I asked you guys to watch, Sunrise. Well, okay, music has a part, definitely, in that movie, but what about the rest of the movie? The music could get a paragraph or two. That's it. Move on, because the music isn't what makes that movie. It's the visuals, it's the mise en scene, it's the acting, it's the direction, it's the script, it's how to tell the story in visual medium. Doesn't have the music. I ask people to, what if you were deaf? Maybe you are deaf. I don't know. Nobody's told me. And you can't hear anything. Can you still enjoy the movie? Do you still get anything out of the movie? Any movie? Is it possible? Well, the silent films, I do believe it is possible. Well, I know it is because they're silent, folks. And if you strip away the music or the sound effects, which some of them did have, can you still get the story, understand it, and enjoy it? That's a true test. It's almost as if I should have asked you guys to turn the sound off on your TVs or your computers, however you watch these films I'm asking you to watch. Just turn it down, turn it off, watch it without it to see if you get anything out of it. That's for the next class. Anyway, so I'm going to assign Essay 3 today. Look for it in assignments. It'll be due a week from today. What else was I going to cover today? I just want you guys to start analyzing these films on a deep level. Telling, and please, once again, I'll keep reiterating this. It's not a review. It's not a thumbs up or thumbs down review. Like, I don't like this because I don't like black and white films, or I don't like this actor or whatever. It's not. I'm not asking you for your likes and dislikes. I'm asking you to look at the film and critically analyze what makes it tick. Now, this film we're going to watch now, Citizen Kane, it was a game-changing film when it came out in 1941. And people are still studying this film. 80 years later, folks. I had probably read a half a dozen books on Citizen Kane at Orson Welles, and I still watch the movie. Usually I watch it in class with everybody. Can't do that now because we're not in class. And I always find, shockingly, I find something I have never seen before. I don't know how many times I've seen it. Maybe I've seen this movie 50, 60 times. I don't know. How can I miss this stuff? Because when we're watching movies, we are filling in the story. We are using our imaginations, and that's part of the collective of filmmaking. And sometimes we're adding things that aren't there, and sometimes we're taking away things that aren't there. That happens all the time. That's part of the collective vision that cinema has on us. We do fill in the blanks a lot. I find that modern cinema, they're not letting us fill in the blanks anymore. They're giving us everything. They're giving all the information. They're not letting the audience think or contemplate or try to figure something out. When we get into some heavier films, you guys are probably watching a Bergman film or Fellini film. Folks, nothing's handed to you on a silver platter. You're going to have to think. Hollywood right now is so afraid of losing any audience member that they explain everything to death. They show everything to death. They depict every nuance, psychological, blah, 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 until you're just given the whole thing. Carte blanche. Yeah, you paid your fee for it, but you don't have to think. And they're just handing you material because they don't respect the audience. They think the audience is stupid. They think you're dumb. We're not dumb. I just watched a movie last night. I watch it because I got to watch the new stuff, and I almost turned it off because it was way over the top violent. I mean, we're talking violence. Maybe you've seen it, Birds of Prey. Okay, um, violence. Yes, it's cartoon violence, but it's off the hook violence. I mean, the one guy's character skins people's entire skin off their heads over and over and over again. Come on, it's torture porn. Um, right? And Ian McGregor is the main bad guy, and I hope he got a lot of money for it because he should be ashamed of himself. And I do like her. I like her a lot. Margot Robbie, maybe you've seen the movie Birds of Prey. She's always great. I think she's excellent actress. If you saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino's new movie, she plays Sharon Tate, really excellent. And she also won the Academy Award for I, Tonya, which she was wonderful in that. She's really an actress to watch. She produced this. This is her baby to get a franchise going, and they're making 4 more sequels to it. So we're going to see a lot more of this. It's a cartoon. It's a DC cartoon thing. You know what I'm talking about. Hopefully, maybe you don't. But I almost turned it off, and because it was so ridiculous, so absurd, and off-putting. The villains are so bad, they're off-putting. They're not cool. They're not. You like the Joker? He's kind of cool, right? The villains in this are just complete. They're Satan. They're the devils. I guess that's the whole point of it. But they're not even clever. It's not even the Joker's least clever. Okay. So watch this in Kane. Take notes from the opening shot. Look what's happening. How does it make you feel? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? How does it make you feel? What do you think Orson Welles is trying to do with that opening shot? And then go from there. Analyze it. Break it down into different scenes. Why does he put the camera the way he does? Why does he do anything? Why is the sound? Why are the actors talking over each other? He has overlapping sound, which hadn't been done before. And he has the camera on such a low level. He's always shooting way up. The camera's down way low and he's shooting up. Why is he doing that? Keep asking yourself why. A key to these essays is why. Why? And it happened one night. I don't know what essay you guys wrote, but let's say you're writing and it happened one night. Why is Clark Gable behaving like he does? Why is he dressed the way he's dressed? Why is she behaving like she does? Well, she comes from the upper class. He doesn't. So right there tells you right now there's a class struggle. There's going to be a different way to look at life, those two characters, but they're going to come together because that's what love will do. So go deeper on the analysis. Look at Citizen Kane. You don't have to like it. You don't have to dislike it. It's in black and white, folks. Don't even mention it in your essay. Do not tell me it's in black and white. I know. And I know you all hate it. I don't want to hear about it or read about it. What's the point? Greg Toland did the cinematography, and he's a master. Maybe one thing you'll get out of this class, an understanding at least of black and white photography. And yes, they could have done it in color, folks. So it is a choice. It's not a technical thing now. They could have done it in color. Movies have been done in color. Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz. Other movies have been done in color. Orson Welles didn't like color. He shot in black and white into the 60s because he said it deflects off the characters. There's too much noise. And black and white makes you focus. Black and white, he said, is the truth. Okay. So, on that happy note, it's Friday, TGIF. Hope you guys have an interesting weekend. The weather's supposed to be starting to get good tomorrow, actually. And then, like next Monday, it's supposed to be 70 or something crazy. I hope you guys are staying safe, still wearing your mask, still washing your hands, still not social. Keep the social distance going. Things are going to get changed. They're going to get opened up, hopefully this year, and things will get better, right? Anyway, good luck in isolation. Good luck on this essay. You know how to get a hold of me. And by the way, if anybody needs to have a meeting with me, a student, if you want to meet with me, we could do a Zoom. I'm meeting somebody tonight on the Zoom. If you're having some issues, I don't have office hours. I'm always available. So just give me a text or email saying, can we arrange a Zoom? Absolutely. I look forward to meeting you one day. On that note, enjoy the day, enjoy Citizen Kane, and remember, everything is cinema.